All right, welcome back, everybody, to the showcast. It is time for us to move on to the first of two interviews that we have this week, and we're definitely kicking it off strong. You might know this gentleman from shows such as Ugly Betty, True Blood. If you're listening to us from Down Under, you know him as the host of The Amazing Race Australia, which I think is really awesome. But now he can be seen once again leading the great cast in SyFy's Defiance, coming back for its third season. Please welcome to the program, Mr. Grant Bowler. Grant, how you doing?
I'm really well, man. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. We're happy to talk to you. SyFy is another one of those networks. I know it's in the same family as USA, and it's another one of those networks that has a lot of great luck when it comes to their shows. I mean, you have, other than Defiance, you have shows like Warehouse 13 and Haven and formerly Eureka and such. And now SyFy's got another big hit on their hands with Defiance going into its third season. For anybody who hasn't had the chance to see it yet, what can you tell us about Defiance and your character, Joshua?
Look, Defiance is at its core a bit of a blend of genres. It's a hybrid, if you like, of a post-apocalyptic science fiction Western type storyline that's very much a frontier drama about people and aliens, and 7 alien races have landed on Earth, and they and humanity are left in this lifeboat that's left after a terrible conflict, and they have to learn to get along together. So it's essentially a story about recreation, the recreation of democracy, and it's an integration story.
Yeah, absolutely. And then season 2 certainly left your fans with quite the cliffhanger, especially for your character Nolan in particular. I'm not sure exactly. I've had the honor of being able to get a screener for season 3, so I've seen the premiere actually. I'm not sure how much you can divulge, but what can you tell us about what's coming up here in season 3?
Season 3 is us at our very best, as far as I'm concerned. It's we established the show in 1. We ran out, every idea we could think of in season 2, and like many other good shows, Defiance, I think, really hits its stride in 3. 3 is a very dangerous universe. It's kill or be killed. It's a much more message-based series, I think, than it has been in the past. It's really good television. It's a lot of every episode has a meaning for me. I get to the end of an episode and I think, this one's about redemption, this one's about family, or this one's about culpability or guilt, or they're fantastic, riveting episodes, and they all tie together. So I'm really proud of it. We're just finishing off the last episode, and I think it's the best work we've done yet.
That's awesome. And certainly, like I said, I got the chance to see the premiere, and certainly starts strong. I think we can certainly say that with some certainty. And you've also added some 3, at least in the premiere, they seem like they're going to be pretty prominent characters this season. And Lee Tergesen, who plays Larrick in The Americans, for people who might have seen that show. You added Nicole Galicia as well. And Conrad Coates, who I believe they're playing a father-daughter, is what I got from the premiere combination
exactly
in the show.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think they're going to be able to bring to the show and the viewers this year?
Oh, look, both parties are protagonists. So Lee is coming in as a character called Rumtuck, who is an immediate and very physical threat to the town of Defiance. And he's fantastic. He brought so much energy and wit and humor to the role. He was really a treat to have on board, Lee. And Conrad and Nicole are a more kind of series-long mystery, if you like, whether or not these two characters are going to be for the betterment of our world or for the detriment. And they've been fantastic. That father-daughter team echoes, if you like, the father-daughter relationship of my character and Arissa, Stephanie Leonidas' character.
Absolutely.
And they provide this wonderful counterpoint to what's going on with Nolan and Arissa. So it's working really well on a number of levels, and they're all, we're very, very lucky and blessed, and we've got, very strong actors coming in who have provided us with an enormous amount of their talent. We also have Linda Hamilton back this year.
Nice.
Yeah, who's just a treat, and such a dream to work with. We revisit some old friends as well, and a couple more along the way. But it's a very strong season, and the actors that are coming in have been fantastic.
Yeah. I know, looking back at your career and, a lot of the stuff that you've done, it seems like a bit of almost every kind of role. I know you've done comedy, you've done action, now you're working on sci-fi. What was it about Defiance, like when you read the script and such, what was it really that really turned you on to wanting to take this part?
It was a role I hadn't played before, and one I'd always wanted, and that was the main thing. And then the story of the show was one I hadn't seen before. I hadn't seen that show before, and I loved how seamlessly the show blended the Western elements and the post-apocalyptic with the science fiction.
Yeah,
that really turned me on, and then finally the father-daughter relationship was the best father-daughter relationship I've ever seen drawn in a television show. I've always been fascinated with it.
Yeah. I know another thing I'm very curious about too, and this is something I've been curious about for a long time, not just for your character, but in general. I'm a pretty decent gamer, and I'm curious what it was like, or how you feel about knowing the fact that you're actually a video game character now.
Oh man, that was a treat, because I'm the same. I am a huge video game junkie, and for me to kind of A, be involved in and B, have my own character in a video game was amazing. The fact that we linked a show and a game together was wonderful. It's always for me been the next step, and I was really proud of us for doing that. It's just really cool, and seeing yourself 3D rendered as an actor. For 25 years I've seen myself filmed, and watching that has kind of become natural to me in a really strange kind of a way. But seeing myself 3D captured for the first time was really strange. It was like the first time you hear your own answer machine message back.
Okay.
When you think, I don't sound like that, but you do. And,
yeah.
And it was that moment all over again for me. It was wonderfully new. I felt like it was the beginning all over again.
Have you played the game itself, just to try it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. And I'm one of the poorest first or second person shooter gamers out there, but I've run around in that world endlessly. I've met my guy. There was one time I was up in San Francisco, and the guys at Tryon had made me play a character with a Nolan skin, and I was podcasting. So in the 1 hour, I was me playing me, meeting me in the game, and all of that was filmed and shown to a live audience, and that was just astounding.
That sounds like it had to be a lot of fun.
I thought the world was going to end at one point. It was so many confluences of me.
I did hear you mention that you have seen yourself at least filmed for 25 years. You've also worked in, but not only the United States, but Australia, New Zealand, which is where you're from, and Canada as well. I'm curious, can you tell us about some of the differences between the international film world and I guess what we're used to here in America, or what you like about them? I'm just curious about how they're different. And
that's a really astute question. They are different, and every kind of shooting culture is different. What's equally amazing to what's different about it is what's the same. The process of actually going from getting into work in the morning, shooting scenes, the departments, the names, the terminology, the process itself stays the same across every single country, all around the world, no matter where you are. And it's incredible to me that is the case. But what it just goes to show is that for 100 years we've been making film and television, and we've just found the way to do it. And there is actually no other way to do it better. People come out and say it, and they go, this takes so long. Can't you guys find a better way of doing it? And the reality is there isn't really.
Yeah.
So that process stays the same. But the cultures are very, very different. And one of the things that's different for me is that, where I come from in Australia and New Zealand, there's no above and below the line, per se. There's no star, or cast crew delineation. Cast are really kind of crew by extension where I come from, and we all kind of muck in together. So I really enjoy seeing the surprise on the crew's face when I kind of just keep hanging out on set and never go back to the trailers. But I hate trailers.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be on set.
So you kind of brought the Australia, New Zealand feel to America in that sense, where you like to hang out with the crew even on Defiance and stuff?
I don't think I'm alone in that. But it's one of my favourite things. Is I like to know everybody, and I like to know about them and what their life is like and their families. And I grew up in Canada. I pretty much know everyone on the crew, and I know how many kids they've got and what age they are and what they're doing with themselves, and that's important. And I've been on sets, but the flip side of that is in the States, things are so much better organised. And at home we have no money, and so things are often they're shot and made at early draft stage, and a lot of creativity is used to cover up the cracks and the gaps.
Okay.
And what I love about the system over here is that it's so much better organised, and there's so much better support around what you're trying to do as an artist.
Sure.
And that really that's an enormous relief, and I'm always grateful for it when I walk on set and I go, okay, we've got the tools to do the job. We're not going to start doing the job and then see if we've got the tools. So that's a wonderful thing. I've encountered in the States. There's a much greater variety of scripts. The scripts tend to be better because they're further along in draft stage than they are at home. There's just more support for development. So they're all very different industries, but and every industry is different. Like New Zealand crews are different than Aussie crews are different. Aussie crews are just very rude. And you can't tell them to do anything because they'll just stop doing whatever they were doing just to spite you. Australians don't take orders at all. Not only don't take them well, they just don't take them. So there's that. The Canadian crews work really, really hard. I've never seen crews work harder than American crews. They're just incredible. So yeah, but in essence, it's always a similar thing where you're dealing with carnival folks. Everyone's essentially carnival folk, and they're all the round pegs, and they're looking for a place to put themselves.
Yeah. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up another project that you had worked on before, just because I know I was a big fan. I know our other co-host Adam was. Steve, I'm not sure if you were or not. But you came into the show Lost in season 4 as Captain Galt, and by that point, the show had already established itself as being like the juggernaut that it had become at the time. And it sucks that you were only in 3 episodes because your character was just starting to develop, and then the next thing you know, you're off the side of the ship and it's over and done with.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, were you a fan of the show before you went into it?
I was. It was a curious period of my life. Oh, and just a little side note, it wasn't meant to be 3 episodes. It was meant to be 5 or 7, and then the writers' strike hit right in the middle of shooting that season of Lost, and And so the number of episodes in that season got abbreviated and spread across the next two seasons.
Yeah.
And so I suffered by default. I went off the side of that ship a little early.
Yeah.
So, that was the result of a writer's strike for me personally. I was a fan of the show, but I was also at this point where I was transitioning, career-wise, between Australia, New Zealand, and the States. And because I was orbiting this circuit of three countries so often, what ended up happening for me was that I kept changing seasons of Lost on TV. Like, I'd get to a country to be on a different season. And I'd get to another country and they would have moved forward, or they would be back one season. And so Lost is pretty hard to follow at the best of times. But when you're moving around countries and they all have different seasons running, it gets even crazier. And so when I finally wound up on the show, I was standing on the deck and I think it was Jack Bender. He was directing, and Jack said to me, he said, "No, you know the show?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "So we're pretty much where we're at." And I looked across on the deck, and Harold was there, and Harold had died like 2 seasons earlier. And so I said to him, "Well, Harold's here, right?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, then you can assume I know nothing. Please tell me everything from the beginning." So I don't think it mattered whether you're a fan of the show or not, unless you're always confused.
Yeah, very true. I know we're running a little short on time, but I wanted to bring up another a future project that you're working on too. I saw on your IMDb that it's in post-production right now, but you have an upcoming project called 400 Days.
Yeah.
And looking at the cast, this is a very it seems like a very young cast, but a very impressive cast at the same time. I mean, you have Katie Lotz, Brandon Routh, Tom Cavanaugh, all who are currently in the CW world on Flash and Arrow. Dane Cook, yourself. I mean, this seems like it's a movie that's going to have some legs when it comes out. At least we hope so for year two. Is there anything that you can tell us about that?
Yeah, look, I was absolutely fascinated with the script when I read it, and was it was one of those films that I just wanted to be a part of. The premise of the movie is based on an actual event. It was a Soviet experiment to see how people would deal with long-term deep space travel over very extended periods of time, particularly around their mental health and their sanity. And so what the Soviets did in their kind of, great compassion for human life, they buried a bunch of people underground for a number of years just to see what would happen. And 400 Days is based around that idea, this experiment of a certain number of days of simulated deep space travel where people are completely isolated and cut off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very interesting premise. I mean, and again, it stays with the sci-fi world that you're kind of in now, so it's, kind of a lateral move to that. But are there any kind of release dates? Is it later this year? Is it going to be 2016?
I'm not 100% sure. I would anticipate either close to the end of this year or early 2016. But I've seen an advanced, I think not yet mixed, cut, and it was looking fantastic. It was looking absolutely brilliant. I think it's. I'm really excited about it. So, and it's it's right up that wonderful kind of sci-fi psychological thriller realm that I love so much.
Yeah.
Ever since Blade Runner kind of destroyed my life.
I'm hoping that means in a good way. Blade Runner kind of destroyed your life.
Yeah,
okay.
In the same sense. And I've watched it probably 45 times since. I'm hopeless on junkie.
Yeah. Well, I know we're going to let you go. But one last question before you go. You said earlier that you're a gamer. What are you playing right now? I'm just curious.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I can get on at the moment, because I'm shooting 15 hours a day, is occasionally I sneak onto World of Tanks and blow up a couple of because I can pick it up and put it down in 8 minutes, but don't tell work because I'm experienced there.
It's our secret. We won't tell anybody. So,
thank you.
well, we're going to definitely send people your way to follow you on Twitter at Grant Bowler. and follow Defiance as well at Defiance World on Twitter. Defiance, as I said, returns this Friday, June 12th, with a 2-hour premiere starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And you're also SyFy's also debuting 2 new shows right afterwards, I believe, as well. In Killjoy and Dark Matter, which are going to be at 9 and 10 o'clock. I think the following week they're going to be starting up.
It's going to be a fantastic Friday night.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I've been a fan of Sci-Fi for years, so I'm definitely going to, we're going to keep watching Defiance. We're going to check out these new shows, and maybe around the time that 400 Days comes out, we can have you back on and talk to you a little bit more about the movie.
Oh, I'd absolutely love that. Yeah, and I'd love to hear what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Of the film. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
And also what you thought of the season by then.
Oh, yeah, because the season will be over by then, so we'll talk to you a little bit more, and then, hopefully maybe get some hints at season 4, which we, hope there is going to be for around
Definitely.
that time.
For sure.
So,
love that idea.
All right, Grant, thanks again for joining us. This was a great time.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we are going to take another break, and we'll be back with the showcast right after this.